she was on the red carpet just last night. Although she didn't win, Cox is using her fame to shine a spotlight on transgender issues. Here's ABC's chief national correspondent, Byron Pitts.
You got the wrong girl.
She is one of the stars of Netflix hit show Orange is the New Black, actress Laverne Cox. A transgender woman in real life playing a transgender inmate in a female prison.
So many trans folks have said that they see themselves reflected in this character.
Cox's role is just one in a growing number, reflective of the transgender community now coming of age in mainstream America. On Broadway, Neil Patrick Harris winning a Tony for his performance in Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Online, Facebook users now able to choose between 56 different options for gender identities. And in fashion, Barney's department store featuring an ad campaign with transgender models. All a far cry from Cox's childhood as a young boy in Alabama.
I was bullied and internalized a lot of shame about who I was as a child. Bullied because of my gender expression. Bullied because I didn't act the way someone assigned male at birth was supposed to act. There's a cultural environment where trans people are told who we are is a mistake and that we should try to be someone else.
It's estimated there are nearly 1 million transgender men and women in America. Many of them teenagers like 18-year-old Isaac Barnett and 17-year-old Michael Galvin.
I wasn't actually a girl except physically. I don't have to live a lie anymore.
I suffered for so many years because people said it was just a phase and that I'd grow out of it. And when I look in the mirror now, I see myself.
High school classmates in Kansas City, Isaac and Michael were born girls. They came out to the world as transgender in a YouTube video.
I've been living more like a guy since elementary school.
It used to be thought that 1 in 40,000 people have gender dysphoria. Now surveys are suggesting it may be as high as 1 in 250.
Gender dysphoria is now a medical diagnosis for those feeling a disconnect between their assigned and perceived gender. Despite the latest research and growing numbers, there is pushback. California's controversial law, AB 1226, allows transgender children in public schools to use facilities and participate in activities based on their gender identity. Opponents call it the co-ed bathroom bill.
We want to protect all children, and especially the 99% that are going to have their privacy invaded by this intrusive law.
But according to the latest polling, 89% of Americans agree transgender people deserve the same legal rights and protection. Even Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel weighed in to these ever-shifting waters.
Every qualified American who wants to serve our country should have an opportunity.
As for Laverne Cox, her success on television has given voice to many who once felt voiceless.
Having your story told validates your experience. It's like I'm not alone anymore, and maybe I'll be okay.
For this week, Byron Pitts, ABC News, Kansas City.
Thanks, Byron. Here now, Mara Kiesling from the National Center for Transgender Equality and Sabrina Rubin-Erderly, who's covered this issue extensively for Rolling Stone magazine. Thanks to both of you for being here. Mara, you've been active on this issue for at least a dozen years, and now you see we've come to the point. Time magazine has said we are at a tipping point. You've had progress in the courts. You've had now Laverne Cox coming in and being nominated for an Emmy Award. What's your sense? Have we reached a critical moment here now for this movement?
Oh, I think absolutely. And, we're winning policy change faster than we ever thought we could. The culture is changing really, really fast. But still, the truth is, while that's happening and while that's all really great and important, there are a million tragedies happening every day with people having judges take away their kids because they're trans, people being disrespected out on the street, people being murdered. We had one of our worst months of transgender murders this past June, and all this summer has just been a bad month for violence. So that stuff's still going on. Maybe that's partly because there's so many more of us out there educating and living our lives.
Hey, Sabrina, you've written a lot about the challenge. This is still a very marginalized community.
Absolutely. I mean, this new acceptance of trans people is certainly something to get very excited about. But I think that it's important to bear in mind that it flies in the face of the most basic day-to-day reality for most trans people, which is that they face a shocking amount of violence. Trans people make up maybe 10% of the LGBT community, but they make up a shockingly huge, disproportionate number of their hate crime statistics.
So they accepting transgender females?
On the collegiate level, there's actually been a huge acceptance of transgender women. There's been a lot of accommodation for bathrooms and dorm rooms. But I think that one place where there's actually been a good deal of progress has been, it's been interesting to see how it's been playing out in terms of transgender, the parents of gender non-conforming kids. Now that there's a new awareness of the kinds of harms that come to transgender people, that they're more likely to be homeless, that they're more likely, and that there's sort of a cascade of harm that can come to them once they're homeless. They're more likely to be at risk for drug addiction, suicide, that parents are now being much more supportive of their kids' decisions to live as their preferred gender.
All right, Sabrina, Mara, much more to talk on this, but thank you for joining us.